So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 6 days to figure this all out. So what I've been doing, I've been hitting the archives. Would you like to know what I found? Let's spin the bins on 5 months ago.
No.
As an investigator, you give out your phone number to people in the community from time to time, correct?
Are we speaking about something specific or?
You give a number for people to call you, if they have information, things like that.
I have, but it's not a general practice where I just hand out my phone number.
Okay, do you, at that time, I'm talking 2015, when you were still with APD, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you have like an APD work phone, or did you operate off of your personal cell phone?
I had a work number.
Okay, you had a work number.
Yes, sir.
As part of your investigations in 2015, you gave Kenneth Copeland had your work number, correct?
After, I want to believe it was the second interview. If you're speaking around the time of the homicide, that January time, no.
I think your man Sharp has a sharp plan. Because how did he come up with this question that he asked a couple days ago? And how did he think to go further? I think we should roll the clip, and then I think I'll get the same answer that you'll get. Y'all ready?
All right. You talked about calls that were made in the beginning of that. You said something to the effect, it's not a quote. Your people are calling me, so I'm here now. What do you have to say?
Okay.
Is that paraphrasing? Is that
Sure.
right? All right. And I think you testified that you gave your number to certain people related to him. Who did you give your number to?
His mother.
His mother. Okay. Is that your standard practice, to give your number to people that you arrest?
Yes,
Or the family, the family members of people you arrest?
a search warrant was executed at her home. So a lot of people have my phone number. It's a common practice of mine, yes.
Okay. Kenneth Copeland, did he have your number?
You're aware that he had my number?
Okay. Did his family members have your number?
I don't think I spoke with any of his family members.
What about Miss Quarterman? Did she have your number?
I believe so.
Okay. And that was his girlfriend at the time? Mother?
His child's mother, yes.
All right. Demekion Garlington, did he have your number?
No.
Did his family members have your number?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to, and I'm specifically talking about Mr. Zachary now.
Mm-hmm.
When you made reference to people calling on his behalf or to get you to go out and talk to him, who specifically was it that was calling?
The best of my memory, it was his mother and his girlfriend at the time, Miss Good.
Okay. And these calls would have taken place in between July 28th, 2015 and August 5th, 2015. Is that fair to say? These calls would have happened after his arrest?
I would assume. I'm not 100% certain. But it was definitely after the search warrant was executed at his home.
Do you know what date the search warrant was?
I don't know off the top of my head.
How many times did his mother call you?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance and
How many times did Summer Good call you?
relevance. Objection.
Let me ask you, are there any reports regarding these phone conversations you had with Mr. Zachary's mother or girlfriend that you generated?
No.
Okay. Were these phone calls you had with Mr. Zachary's mother and girlfriend, were they recorded?
I don't believe so.
All right. On direct, you talked about your practice of not revealing your cards first. Remember that?
one thing about putting in your notes and having a pattern of behavior that everybody should know, a cigarette smoker is always going to be a cigarette smoker until they decide to change. A person who is known for doing a certain thing will do certain things until they decide to change. We once heard Quindarius Zachary say these words.
Detective Gaither is.
Yes.
How do you know who Detective Gaither is? Have you met her before?
The Meek Young Goddess and auntie were fucking her. I mean, excuse me, Judge. But they had a relationship.
Actually, I asked that be struck from the record.
You say how I know?
Have you ever witnessed any of that?
Yeah, he told
You were
me.
in the room?
So, I think what happened probably a little bit was that just like some people who may get a little spotlight, who may get on the TV a couple of times, they may start to amp themselves up. Nash, what are you talking about? Remember this episode?
Investigator Lakia Gaither from the gang unit arrives with information on Freddie Talley.
He's with the Bloods. When I arrested him in 2012, he was with Check Gang, which is a small section of the Bloods. He went to jail, then went on to prison. So we, of course, looked on social media and a bunch of pictures of him holding firearms along with gang bandanas. So I don't think he's a stranger to firearms.
Benton gets a surprising lead.
I just received this video from a parole officer. He stated that his parolee got it from a guy named Finesse. So I had Investigator Gaither from the gang come down. Hopefully this is the... Do you recognize any of these guys?
That's him.
So you have that happen where she's on TV and all that stuff, which makes no sense that you would want yourself to be hidden, but we've seen the physical condition that she's in. So I'm going to be fair, I wouldn't want to be nowhere near a camera either. But then there comes another part of her where the Hawks hire her. And this is kind of like a refresh, but we'll get into it. But now the Hawks hire her, and we're sitting here left with, can there be anything done to her and the Hawks? Because Young Thug's sister said she was always mean and rude to her. So let's take a look there too. Subject: deep concern regarding the hiring of Lakia Gaither. Dear Mr. Coonan, I'm writing to express my profound outrage and disappointment over the Atlanta Hawks' decision to hire Lakia Gaither, a former Atlanta Police Department investigator who testified as an expert witness in the Young Thug/YSL trial. This hire has raised some serious concerns about the team's leadership and decision-making. Gaither's involvement in that highly publicized case was riddled with questionable behavior, unprofessional conduct, and ethical lapses that have left many in the community appalled. It is baffling that such a prominent and respected organization like the Hawks would associate itself with someone whose career has been marked by such controversy. Gaither's actions in the Young Thug case speak for themselves. As an investigator, she failed to demonstrate the level of objectivity, professionalism, and integrity required for such a high-stakes trial. Her testimony and conduct were widely criticized, leading to public distrust and concern over her role in shaping the outcome of the case. This alone should have been enough to deter your organization from hiring her. Her mishandling of critical aspects of that case has already cast a long shadow, and now that same shadow looms over the Hawks with her involvement in your organization. It is shocking to me that the Hawks did not perform due diligence in thoroughly vetting her background before making this decision. A simple review of her professional history would have revealed the numerous red flags. Lakia Gaither has shown time and time again that her ethical compass is faulty. Yes, she has been placed in a role that inherently requires trust and responsibility. How can an organization like the Hawks, which is so deeply connected to the community, align itself with someone whose professional history is filled with actions that undermine that very trust? The hiring of Gaither is not just a misstep, it is a fundamental betrayal of the values that the Hawks claim to uphold. For years, this organization has prided itself on its commitment to doing what's right both on and off the court. But with this hire, the commitment comes into serious question. It's deeply disappointing to see the team I've supported for so long fail to understand the importance of upholding a high ethical standard, especially when the stakes are as high as they are in this situation. The damage caused by this decision extends far beyond the confines of the basketball court. The Atlanta Hawks represent something larger than sports. They represent leadership in the city, a beacon of integrity, and a symbol of community trust. By hiring someone like Gaither, the Hawks risk damaging their reputation and eroding the trust that fans, like myself, have placed in them. It's alarming that this decision was made without a full understanding of its implications. I urge you to take immediate action and reconsider Gaither's place within your organization. The Atlanta Hawks should not be associated with someone who has consistently shown poor judgment and unprofessional behavior. This is an opportunity for the organization to correct its course and reaffirm its commitment to the principles of fairness, integrity, and responsibility. And I hope you will reflect on the values that have defined the Hawks for so long and make the right decision for the future of the team and its relationship with the community. Black law student. Now, as well written as that is, you know what it didn't have? Financial ramifications. Bruh, Boosie used to be a ticketed season holder, and he ain't get nothing done. So you had Boosie get kicked out, and Boosie has a bigger platform, a bigger voice, and he was a ticket holder. Black law student ain't either of those. So with no disrespect in how I say this, all right, man, nothing gonna happen about it. So here's where I think Gaither is caught up in the sauce. I believe that she has a prowess about her that allowed her to kind of get some women. And that's why you in the hood smashing or getting smashed by individuals where you should not be at. There comes a standard of living once you start to move up. It just is what it is. And that's not to say that whomever she was dealing with was just like that, but it don't sound like, if the locals know, the gang members know what's going on, that you're not in the thick of things. Yes, you are. I think what happened is her phone used to get hit by people, and used to give her information. She even said she plain closed it, walking and kicking it in the neighborhood, and literally would get information from people because it was better that she was in plain clothes. She said she used to work and avoid 911 calls and all of these things, and I believe her. But what she also alluded to was money. Miss Gaither knew that in order for you to stand out amongst the stars, you're going to need that intel. And I don't think all her intel was that good. I think she might have ran a play with Lil D. Because if you remember, they said he was facing like 188 years or however many years and all of that crap. Like, oh, Lil D was out of there. Then it all gets reduced. She said out of her own mouth, yeah, I'm going to talk to the DA. And then she had the little chummy lady, if y'all remember, the lady with the crazy voice. That was the Fed that came through and talked to Lil Woody, and then the guy that jumped in from the Feds, and then she's basically giving him advice, which, understandably, you don't want to dissuade him from doing anything, but God, dog, you set him up with the Feds right after you, and that's about it. So when it comes to it, I think that phone number was passed around. I think that's how she got a lot of her info and a lot of her intel. These criminals or smart thugs or whatever you want to call them, I think they knew that you give her a little bit, she gonna act like she just cracked the whole enchilada. And that's what I believe is her whole entire MO. I don't think she was that good of a damn cop. I don't think she was that good of a gang investigator. I don't even think she really deserved those accolades that she got, because if she was really about that, she would have did at least what Dennis did. Dennis packed up and went home to St. Louis and literally integrated with the individuals there. He does a barbershop thing, I think on Saturdays, like every other month or something like that, where he talks to the people inside of the city. Dennis at least does that. She does none of that. So really what it turns out is your very first job, you learn how to rob. It just is what it is. You stole time from the police officers. You avoided calls when people needed you. That is piss poor pathetic. And if you don't believe me, it'll be pinned in the comments. Well, actually, I'm going to pin the live stream that we did in the comments because I think y'all wanted it live too. But it is what it is, man. Share to keep your people aware. Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified. And I'll catch you on the next one.